not sure in the right mood for basketball Champions League action as such. But as I said, both these clubs in the same Group D in this competition 3 years ago. Two very big wins on that occasion for Tenerife. At home, it was a 103-57 thrashing of the Montenegrins. Here in the Topolita Sports Hall, it was closer, but a 17-point win for Tenerife. That was the only two times that these clubs had met each other in Europe or otherwise. Never played friendlies or exhibition games against each other as well. This Tenerife squad very, very different from the group that played for Chus Vidaureta last year. In fact, you'd have to go all the way down to Tomasz Gielo, the rarely used Pole. In fact, he was injured for much of last year. Had 5 points in his one game against Real Madrid before he suffered a horrendous right knee injury. Above him, the top 10 scorers last year for Tenerife all have moved on. So it really is a new look squad. They're gelling okay. The domestic results have been decent. 3 wins, 2 losses in the ACB thus far. Mornar Bar currently tied for 3rd in the Adriatic League with 2 wins and 1 loss in their 3 games played thus far. And there is Mihailo Pavicevic as we get ready to take a look momentarily, I think, at the starting lineups for both teams. And you can see Derek Needham standing up. Played in the Euro Cup last year with AS Monaco. And there is the starting 5 for Mihailo Pavicevic. Jacob Pullen, Derek Needham, the guards. Let's have to take a quick look at the lineup for Tenerife as well. Mugisha getting the start. He only played 6 minutes of Mornar's second qualifying game against Benfica, the Portuguese club. Didn't feature at all last week against VF Riga or on Saturday in their Adriatic League game against Partizan Belgrade, but he gets the starts. And both clubs coming out to midcourt, just about ready to get this game underway. With Mornar in the white jerseys, they will be traveling from right to left across your screen here. A couple of final high fives for Derek Needham. You see Alex Suarez nearest your screen there. Their starting lineup of Huertas, Salin, Diaz, Shermandini, and Suarez. And the opening tip has been won just by Mornar Bar, and here we go. Derek Needham front court to kick off this first offensive possession. Well out from the net is Bielica, trying to back in against Huertas. Cross-court pass finds Needham, and then he throws it away looking for Begic. Not the best of starts for the Montenegrin club. And so Tenerife front court with it is Marcelinho Huertas. Shermandini, not a threat from outside, only 1 for 15 all of last season from 3, but cutting to the net rather better. As drawing the foul on Mirza Begic. Beg your pardon, it's Mugisha with the first personal foul in this game. Marco Mugisha, a player who has a reputation as doing rather better against weaker opponents. May find a club as good as Tenerife a bit much to handle here today. As inside, the one-handed effort a bit strong there from Shermadini. And here comes Needham. Needham trying to go coast to coast. Did that make contact with Huertas? It did. So possession remains with Mornar. Jacob Pullen, twice an all Big 12 first team player in 2010, 2011 with the Kansas State Jayhawks. Far side, good look inside, and the flush from Mirza Begic to open the scoring in this game. Good interplay, the dish from Bjelica. That looks suspiciously close to a travel against Shermadini. And Huertas stepped on the sideline with Pullen pulling the defensive strings. And so a tidy start here for Mornar. Minute and a half in, they lead 2-0. Mugosha. Pullen finds Begic on the post up, but the turnaround well off the mark. Huertas. A step back, no, can't get the roll, but the rebound, Shermadini. And the kick inside, easy bucket for Danny Diaz. Former best young player in the Spanish ACB, Danny Diaz, back in 2014-2015. He gets Tenerife on the scoreboard as the stop from 16 feet in from Pullen, showing some of his range. Career over 36% from beyond the arc, but that little floater giving Barr the lead again. Now the hook shot from Shermadini won't fall. Needham, the high stepping, he drives. But back the other way, it's Sasu Salin who almost lost control of the ball on his way in for an easy layup. So 4-4 the score. Tenerife back on level terms. There's the three from Pullen, got it. Jacob Pullen with 5. And Mornar, their biggest lead in the early going here. Salim. Inside to Suarez. Knocks Needham down, then the fadeaway is good. Needham wanting the offensive foul, not getting it. Tried to sell it to the American point guard. Now from outside, that's Bjelica. Nearly 40% from 3 last season for Toyota Alvark in Japan. There he gets the 3 to put Mornar up by 4. Saline off the pick, good dish, not controlled well in the first instance by Shermadini. But the trailer, Huertas, up and in. So Tenerife continues to trail. Montenegrins will be not displeased at all with the first portion of this opening quarter. Needham kicks near side. Mugosha from range, that's well off. And rebound taken down for Tenerife. That was by Diaz, as quickly kicked inside. Huertas finding Shermadini. Another bucket down low. Shermadini 7'1". Only Begic has that kind of size in the Mornar squad. That's why he's going to get more run today than he normally would do for Mornar in domestic or Adriatic League action. Jacob Pullen played all 40 minutes, by the way, last week against VEF Riga. Needham, nice lob inside, but Begic weight wasn't good. But the little hook shot is up and in for Begic. Passed on the easier potential bucket, but good backing in and finishing from the big Slovenian. Saline draws the blocking foul on Jacob Pullen. Almost got there in time, but not quite, did Pullen. Tenerife does offensively at the moment, including that dish, but the rejection. Shermadini denied, and then from a long way out, no dice for Saline. And Mugisha driving and drawing the foul against Alex Suarez. So Marco Mugisha to record a point in Europe this season. Might have a chance now as you see that great defensive play by Begic, who was very briefly a New Orleans Pelican in the NBA back in October of 2015. But this is 2 free throws from Marco Mugisha. And Mornar up by 3. Huertas got the high screen from Shermadini, uses it but misses the 3. And good boxing out allows the rebound to fall for Begic. And Saline able to at least force an inbound play as he will go to the bench for Tenerife. Trying to set himself, Pullen lucky in the end that the ball just trickled off the arm of the Finnish player Saline. Great look inside from Needham. He finds Begic, and Mornar their biggest lead of the game at 15-10. Gabriel Lundberg, the Dane, now on the court for Tenerife. He drives the lane, kicks outside for the 3, and that's down and in. Nicely done by Diaz, leading scorer in this game for Tenerife, clawing back to within 2. Pullen to Needham for 3. The rainbow is long. Rebound snatched by Diaz. Now Huertas. Little wraparound pass and space inside as that looked suspiciously like a travel. Thought Shermadini might have dragged his pivot foot, but draws the foul. Watch it again here. Seemed to have a clear path to the basket, then nearly lost his footing, couldn't get the roll, but did draw the foul. As checking into the game comes Alex Lopez and Uroš Lukovic as well for Mornar Bar, along with Tay Waller, the former Auburn University player in the NCAA American system. Shermadini, very good free throw shooter for a big man, averaging nearly 83% in his career across all European competitions. Makes 2 of 2 here and 5 points in a row for Tenerife. We have 2:51 to go in the first quarter. We are all squared, 15 points apiece. Needham front court against the Dane Lundberg. Stop and go move in the corner for Bjelica for 3. He misses. Rebound Lundberg. 12 national team appearances for Denmark for Gabriel Lundberg. Giving Huertas a little breather. That move inside, eventually up and in from Fran Guerra in the game for Iberostar Tenerife, and they have their first lead at 17 points to 15. Good battle of guards between Needham and Lundberg. Pass goes awry. And so Alex Lopez front court for Tenerife. Well, that's given right to Jacob Polin. And he goes in for the uncontested layup and misses. Yikes. Can't afford those sorts of mistakes. And at the other end, and one for Diaz. That's a killer sequence for Mornar Bar. Trying to come over with the defensive help was Uroš Lukovic. As you see the miss from Polin, I think he heard the footsteps as Diaz makes the three-point play complete. He goes out already almost into double figures in scoring, Danny Diaz. And the Tenerife lead is suddenly 5 on the 10-0 run here toward the end of the first quarter. A foul drawn by Bjelica, committed by Guerra. I beg your pardon, that is Darian Atkins, I believe, having checked into the game. Yeah, the former Summer League player with the New York Knicks back in 2015. Spent a year with Westchester in the G League, did Atkins. First foul of the game for him. And the free throw knocked down by Bjelica. Nearly a 75% career free throw shooter is Bjelica. Makes 2 of 2 here, and that's a pair of very important points for Mornar as they get back within 3 with just over a minute left in this first quarter. Lundberg. Little floater up and in. Nicely done from Gabriel Lundberg. Former Danish Young Player of the Year Lundberg back in 2014-2015 with BMS Herlev Wolfpack. Polin. Nice roll move to the hoop, but not in from Lukovic. Then a second effort, no. And Tenerife can counterattack. On the outside this way, and that is Lopez. Finds space for the 3, but misses. Rebound pulled down by Brandis Raley-Ross. Up to Tay Waller. Three-pointer is in from Waller. First points of the game from Antavia Waller. And the lead is 2 for Tenerife with shot clock turned off. Into the first quarter, long way out is Lopez. Eventually off and in time. Fran Guerra scoring the final bucket of the first quarter. It's enough to give Iberostar Tenerife the 4-point lead at the end of the opening quarter of this game. Strong drive to the hoop from Alex Lopez. Easy finish for Guerra. So Iberostar Tenerife not having it all their own way in that first quarter, but the 10-0 run helping them stretch out to what is eventually a 4-point lead at the end of 10 minutes of action. Other scores in the BCL, Besiktas trailing by 13 points to another Spanish club, Zaragoza. That game just about at halftime. Another game which is at halftime, PAOK of Greece leading Szombathely 34-32. Other game in this group toward the end of the first quarter, Nürnberg leading Gaziantep 16-11. As we check out some highlights from that first quarter, Mirza Begic starting the game and doing pretty well on the whole. relatively underused player for Mornar Bar, but eventually Tenerife would get the buckets they needed to take the lead. Jacob Pullen, very consistent performance from him. Pielica showing some of his range in that first quarter. Another turnaround hook shot from Begic. Played last year, by the way, with Union Olympia in Slovenia, did Mirza Begic. Apologies, by the way, we've had some issues with our stats feed here during the first quarter. So we don't have up-to-date scores for everyone involved in this game, but we are underway in the second quarter with Tenerife starting things off. The three from Lundberg, not in, but he draws the foul on the perimeter. So Lundberg will go to the line for three with Pullen committing his second personal of the quarter, or of the first half, I should say. Jacob Pullen's been such a consistent contributor for Mornar this season. 16 points on Saturday in the loss against Partizan Belgrade. 18 in Latvia last Tuesday in the loss to VF Riga. And 29 points in the first qualifying game at Benfica did Pullen. But he's out now with those two fouls. Needham in to replace him. Lundberg makes the first two of three, as Mihailo Pavicevic not happy on the Bar bench. And Lundberg perfect from the line. Not the best free throw shooter by any means, less than 70% in his career. Only 58% last year with Manresa in the ACB. Gets all of those to go, and very awkward looking shot there from Waller. Low percentage, got what it deserved. And Tenerife just looking to flex their muscles here early in the second quarter. Kick outside to Santa Justa. Outside to Atkins for three, got it. Darian Atkins stretches the lead to double digits for Tenerife, and a timeout from Mihailo Pavicevic, with the Mornar deficit now 10. Great look there for Atkins. Played last year with Hapoel Holon in Israel. Fiery coaching from Pavicevic there. Not happy with the effort defensively on that particular possession, I would say. And really the fadeaway, not even a three-point attempt in the corner from Waller. That's not the sort of shot that's going to keep Mornar within touching distance of Tenerife in this game. Mornar coming into this on a two-game losing streak in all competitions. They had won their first two games in the Adriatic League against Cibona of Croatia and Igokea of Bosnia. This was always going to be a tall order this evening, but still time. Need to get back to the fundamentals here as Needham off the pick and roll. Good dish inside. Unable to finish first time Lukovic. And another hook shot airs everything. Should have dished outside and tried again there, Uroš Lukovic. But Lundberg controlling traffic into the lane. Misses the bunny. Rebound pulled down by Marketa, and here's Needham front courts. Marketa the kick outside. Leaner will not fall for Brandis Rayleigh-Ross. And Mornar not yet on the board in the second quarter. Lopez. Good ball movement far side. A wide open three is missed. Chance there wouldn't fall for Atkins, trying to find his second three here in the second quarter. Lead him across to Marketa. Lukovic backing in instead. Try again with only 4 on the shot clock, and Edam's got a release. A wild two-pointer doesn't go, but the rebound, Lukovic wins it to Marketa. Shot clock reset. Lukovic driving and in. Uroš Lukovic, the Serbian. 7-footer around the iron and down. Here to Justa. Santa Justa went without the ball. Turnover against the 22-year-old Spaniard, Santiago Justa. Marketa from range, short. Rebound Lopez. Lundberg. Lopez against Rayleigh-Ross. Frees himself. Kicks in the corner for Atkins. Steps inside the three-point line and goes long with the shot. Needham the rebound. Comes front court himself. Tay Waller. Pick set by Lukovic. Waller goes it alone, then kicks outside. Marketa in the corner. Waller for three. Got it. So a quick little 5-0 run for Mornar Bar. They are back within only 5 points of Tenerife, and the Spaniards will take time out. Chus Vidareta, the best coach in the ACB in the 2016-2017 season, the year that Tenerife won the Basketball Champions League title. Also currently an assistant coach for the Spanish national team. Vidareta, 53-year-old Spaniard himself. Tenerife defeating Banvit, the Turks, 63-59 in that 2017 Basketball Champions League final. And of course the runner-up last year, losing to Virtus Bologna in the last game, 73-61. And a 4 on the shot clock here. Lopez down a blind alley and the ball off of his knee. And so solid defending, appreciated by the fans here in Bar. Not far from the Albanian border, near the shores of the Adriatic Sea. Bar in southern Montenegro. Needham again running the offense for Bar. Waller the pull-up on the baseline, gets it to go. So 7 in a row for Mornar. And then the touch foul by Rayleigh Ross on the perimeter. Brandis Rayleigh Ross, only 6 points in the BCL before today, including the 2 qualifying matches against Benfica. Bar won very comfortably in Lisbon, 96-68, before losing by 11 at home, but plenty good enough to go through on aggregate, as driving the big Georgian Georgi Shermadini, and drawing the foul. He'll shoot 2, as you see the collision there with Uroš Lukovic. First free throw miss of the night for Shermadini. Had almost 14 points per game in World Cup qualifying this past cycle for the Georgian national club. Gets a second free throw down. And the Tenerife lead back to 4. With Needham again front court for the Montenegrins. Well gathered by Rayleigh Ross. The bank shot down for the former South Carolina player. The SEC Sixth Man of the Year in 2009 with the Gamecocks. That shot down for Tenerife. Just in from Santa Justa, and then in the slam on the alley-oop, Lukovic. Powerful stuff from Mornar Bar, and the lead is 2 again. Good positioning for Shermadini. He gets a little scoop in. So Tenerife keeping their nose in front in this game, past the halfway mark of the second quarter. Needham pulls up just inside the free throw line. Lukovic, the strong rebound, but not the conversion. And here's Huertas back up the court. Floor general for Tenerife. Gets away with a really sloppy pass. Crowd not appreciating that call. You see the hand was up in the face of Shermadini by Marketa, so I can understand the call. Classic Montenegrin mustache on the face of Damir Marketa as Lukovic checks out. Begic back in, always trying to keep at least one 7-footer on the floor. Bar defensively, particularly when Shermadini's on court. There he is with the ball outside the perimeter with only 8 on the shot clock. Huertas, NBA step, 3-step move, and then the rejection coming front court. Rayleigh Ross, the finger roll down for Brandis Rayleigh Ross. The Tenerife lead once again, only 2. Then Justa, he's fouled outside. So Tenerife now in the penalty. It'll be Santa Justa to the line. 77% free throw shooter last year with Real Madrid. Figures to get rather more court time in Tenerife, does Santa Justa. As Tay Waller checks out, and Jacob Pullen back in with those 2 fouls. Probably a risk worth taking by Mihajlo Pavicevic. Pullen back to Needham. Whipped quickly near side to Marketa. Plenty of time still for Mornar here. Pull in. Gonna have to pull up now. He goes in and somehow scoops the ball down. A wild fling, but goes down smoothly for Jacob Pullen. The other end, another foul as Needham recoils. Contact initiated, I think, by Huertas. I beg your pardon, that was mentioned at the start of the broadcast. He had a really bad knee injury last October against Real Madrid in his first game for Tenerife. Missed the entire season, only just sort of tiptoeing his way back into full fitness. Did not play last Tuesday at all against Nizhny Novgorod. Misses the first free throw. He actually had a medical redshirt season at Liberty University in the NCAA in his American collegiate time. Missing both free throws here despite his 77% career free throw rate, and Mornar with a chance to tie or maybe even take the lead as foul outside on Salim against Jacob Pullen. Swarming defense with Shermadini, 7'1" player outside the arc defensively. As Rayleigh Ross will control things. As space goes in, left-handed with the bucket to tie this game up. Really strong offensive contribution in the second quarter from Brandis Rayleigh Ross. Huertas now for Tenerife. See how they handle some adversity here. Shermadini awkwardly down and then back up to restore the Spanish lead. Now Pullen. Rayleigh Ross giving himself some space. Thinks he can go it alone every time now. Instead, Mugusha forced into an awkward shot and misses everything with the shot clock ticking down. So Marco Mugusha, not a strong outside shooter by any means. Yet to record a point this season coming into this game in all competitions, as Huertas inside. Quick pass fired out to Suarez, but his three is well short. Under a minute and a half left in this first half, and Mornar can again tie or take the lead. Pullen thinks about the three contested by Salim. Need to keep the ball movement here. This bar fouled by Huertas, I think. Just gone a little bit hero ball the last few possessions, Mornar Bar. Need to make sure and keep the passes flowing around the perimeter. Look for the opening. As Mornar will take a timeout. Regroup here for the final minute of this second quarter. Well, Mornar has to be pretty happy with their offensive output in this first half. Tenerife, by far the best defensive club in Basketball Champions League history. They have forced their opponents to score fewer than 70 points in 35 different BCL games. No other club has managed that feat more than 22 times. Inbound pass finds Pullen. Remember, the shot clock down to 8 already. The inbounds as the move to the hoop by Bjelica. Can't find the rim, but Bar will get the inbounds with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. Final touch off the Tenerife player, and outside Bjelica steps in for the 2 and gets it. Milko Bjelica ties the game up again. Huertas to Justa. That's a risky pass inside, but final touch off of Milko Bjelica. No matter what happens in this final 42 seconds, it's been a really good half for Mornar Bar. Saline will go from distance, trying to restore Tenerife's lead. He can't. Instead, it's Rayleigh Ross the other way. Ross coast to coast, in with the bucket. Mornar in front. 30 seconds to go in the half. Brandis Rayleigh Ross in double figures. But what do we have here? Referee's pointing to the bench after Rayleigh Ross goes the distance. And a technical foul called, so Huertas knocks it down. Don't know what could have brought that on from Mihailo Pavicevic. Means that the Bar lead is only 1, with the 4.5 second differential between shot and game clocks here. Huertas will take his time coming front courts. Looking to give Tenerife the lead here at halftime. Just going to bleed the shot clock all the way down here. Huertas, the high pick from Shermadini. Instead, it's Saline for 3, misses. Rebound down with 5 seconds left. Pullen trying to go all the way. The roll up, the tip down for Bar. The 2 points count. Bjelica with the tip, beating the buzzer, and Mornar Bar will go into the halftime locker room, leading this game 43-40. Huertas didn't know whether to stick or twist, but Bjelica the rebound ahead of Shermadini. And what a surprise we have potentially on the cards in the Topolitsa Sports Hall. Mornar Bar with the advantage after 20 minutes. Look at it again, just watch the clock. Did it beat the buzzer? It's pretty close, but I think it's going to count. We're going to take a look at it on the replay just to make sure. This will be the better angle to see. Puts it up with less than a second left. The tip with 0.3 on the clock. That's easily in. And so just the confirmation. 2 points. Count it. Thank you very much. Both clubs have already made their way to the dressing room in the Topolitsa Sports Hall. Mornar Bar with the 43-40 lead over last season's BCL runners-up, Iberostar Tenerife. The 2017 champions with work to do in Montenegro in this second half. See Tenerife not getting it done from outside the arc. They have gotten to the paint much more proficiently, 9 of 12 from the charity stripe. But who would have predicted that Mornar would have more rebounds than Tenerife at halftime? And really, you see the figures there. Rayleigh Ross not yet into double digits, but it certainly feels like he's been all over the court with 8 points. Tay Waller with 8, Bielitsa with 7 for Mornar. Shermadini, the top scorer for Iberostar Tenerife, with 9. But it all means that as we go into our little halftime highlights montage here, it's all coming up roses for Mornar Bar thus far. My name's Darren Kilfair. We're going to break here for a few minutes at halftime, but join us again for the start of the second half in what has been a very, very good basketball game thus far. Mornar Bar leading at halftime by 43 points to 40.
Big moment, Antoine with the steal. Oh my goodness. What an athletic play.
under the basket. Mustafa Fall in the lane, and he held the ball up like the Eiffel Tower, and it was just too easy for the big man.
Nice, beautiful move. Really sneaky, smart play. Oh, what a move by Thomas, throwing it down. Just catch through the lane and throws it down with authority. Inside for a big time slam dunk by Faye. Ibrahim Faye, I said earlier, just throw it up anywhere above the rim and he'll catch it. Wow, what a play.
Martin, oh, he throws it down hard. Great hustle play by Brindisi. Kelvin Martin just hammered it home.
No good there for the Sixers, and here comes Jaquan Lewis. Lewis, still Lewis. Oh, what a move! Off the glass!
Offensive rebound, and Goldikas has been good, but he turns it over. Ball kept alive. Martin goes down the floor and gets to the end of the runway and takes off and throws it down for two. And Kelvin Martin, gets off the 2 feet, gives it a little windmill action and throws it down.
Double dribble to be called. It isn't. Young gets a little slip, throws it up, and then the finish. Once more, it's Kamari Murphy. Sorry, it was Simpson sneaking along the baseline.
Luna, it's up to Abdullah Loom. Back to Loom. Oh my lord! I mean, he stares it down. You remember the name. It is Abdullah Loom. Look at the elevation, and he stares it down on the floor. You remember Abdullah Loom.
Decent club, certainly within the context of Montenegrin League basketball and the Adriatic League, but you wouldn't expect them to be able to hold a candle to Iberostar Tenerife, but the Spaniards trail by 3 points at halftime, 43-40. Mornar has not won any of its last 5 home games in the BCL, going back a couple of seasons. Tenerife has won more than 90% of their away games in the BCL regular season. Highest winning percentage among all teams away from home in the competition's history. And so that is a statistical insight into just how unusual this halftime lead is. Remember, Tenerife at one stage led this game by 30 points to 20 before Mornar clawed their way back in, eventually catching the Spaniards at 39 apiece and scoring 3 of the final 4 points in the half. Top scores for Mornar Bar, a couple of Americans, Tay Waller, Brandis Rayleigh Ross with 8 points apiece. Georgi Shermadini with 9 points to lead all scorers in this game for Tenerife. And apologies again, our stats feed has not been functioning for most of this game thus far, and we're trying to work on that. Hope to get full stats back to you as soon as we can. But as the two clubs just about ready to go back out on court for the start of the second half, Vidaretsa has some adjustments to make. And young fans and old alike here in southern Montenegro very much enjoying the flow of this game thus far. Certainly looked like Tenerife would dash out ahead to a comfortable margin at halftime before Mornar pegged them back and then some. Again, Mornar Bar, a 2-1 record in Adriatic League play thus far this season. But they have not done that well in previous European seasons. Last year they were in the Euro Cup. They finished 5th out of the 6 teams in Group D, failed to advance to the last 16. But it will be Mornar's ball to start the second half. Brandis Rayleigh Ross continues in this game. And inbounds the ball to Derek Needham. He finds Jacob Pullen. And here we go. Buckle up, fans. Could get interesting in Montenegro tonight. Bjelica backing in. Left-handed down for Montenegro. Their finest. In fact, that was Begic, beg his pardon, making it 45-40. That's jointly the biggest lead of the game for the Montenegrin club. Diaz into Shermadini. His turnaround finds the bottom of the hole. So he's into double figures with 11 points. Lead is trimmed back to 3 as Needham. Cross court look, the 3-point jumper is short. That was Bjelica from the perimeter. Misfiring as Lopez off to Diaz. Shermadini in position against Begic. Backing in, taking the shot. Then the 3 from outside is way long. Rebound grab by Rayleigh Ross. He'll drive all the way, draws contact, gets the hoop down, could have got the harm as well. But Ross into double figures with 10. Lundberg starting the second half in place of Huertas. He's not really performed all that well in this game. The marquee Tenerife player, you'd say. As Atkins will try his luck from distance and misses by a mile. And then the bump at midcourt by Lopez on Needham. So the first personal foul in this second half is against Tenerife and Alex Lopez. Lopez new to Tenerife this year after 3 years at San Pablo Burgos. Helped that club win promotion to the ACB back in 2017. It's the trap broken nicely by Pullen with a behind the back look to Rayleigh Ross. Rayleigh Ross, he's feeling it right now. Outside to Begic, a long way from where he wants to be shooting, and then Needham down a blind alley. Other way, it's Atkins in transition, can't get the roll. The rebound somehow pulled down by Rayleigh Ross, and he whips the pass front court to Pullen. Pullen the floater, yes! Jacob Pullen. The Mornar bar lead is 7. Lopez inside. Shermadini. Atkins the turnaround, misses. Rebound up and in. Darian Atkins struggling to get into this game. But a big bucket for Tenerife. Mornar's lead is 5. Pulling through the lane. Can't get the bucket to drop, but he will go to the line to shoot 2. Jacob Pullen, part of the Kansas State team that reached the Elite 8 back in 2010 in the NCAA tournament, losing to Butler, who went on to that amazing final against Duke University, which Duke won at the death. That's the first free throw to fall. He's a 79% career free throw shooter, but clicking at more than 90% across all competitions this year, and gets the second free throw down and in as well. Lopez over to Lundberg. Dane feeds inside. Shermadini gets the awkward, ungainly one-hander to drop. And Lundberg will at least hassle Derek Needham as he comes from one end of the court to the other. Baggage to Rayleigh Ross. Bielitsa backing in. Turnaround fadeaway. Can't get the roll. And now Lundberg the other way. Lopez gets the ball back. And then, very lucky that Needham got the last touch. Lopez fumbling control away. Shake of the head from Derek Needham. In his second spell with Mornar Bar, played here 2 seasons ago after spending last year split between Monaco and Lietuvos Rytas, as the penetration from Lopez reducing Tenerife's deficit to only 3 points. Just over 6 minutes left in the third. Bielitsa, 1 against 2, but draws the foul. Push off from Danny Diaz. So it's Tenerife committing the fouls here in the third quarter, after Mornar had been the sinners for the most part in the first half. 3 fouls to nothing in this third quarter. As the kick, Pullen trying to penetrate with those 2 fouls of his own from the first half. Mornar will inbound with 12 on the shot clock as Rayleigh Ross picks up. Stops, then the floater, he goes down, might get the rebound on the ground, and jump ball to signal. He and Diaz both in possession. Not been getting the calls in this game, Mornar, when they've gone strong to the hoop. You see the complaint immediately there as the possession arrow favoring Tenerife. So the Spaniards can possibly tie this game here with a 3. Again, a very solid screen, knocking Needham down. Lopez finds Shermadini. Kicks back out to Lopez. And the Georgian nearly loses the handle. And then Needham, the guilty party, with only 6 on the shot clock. Not a great foul by Needham, who turned 29 years of age on Sunday, Derek Needham. He just lost control of his weight distribution and committing the personal foul. Shermadini drawing the infraction, this time from Mirza Begic. Shermadini, again, 24 points last week against Nizhny Novgorod on 9 of 14 shooting. He's averaging over 19 points a game in all competitions this year. As into the game comes Radoje Vujošević. Haven't heard his name very often tonight. Lundberg receives the inbounds pass, operating against Needham. And inside, it's quickly a foul by Vujošević on Shermadini. Out of position there. Good professional foul by Radoje Vujošević. Off the inbounds, Tenerife lucky to regain possession. Lundberg against Pullen from range. He gets the 3 to fall, and we are tied at 51 apiece. Step back bucket for Gabriel Lundberg. And then the other end, Needham up and not down, but he draws the foul. Good pace up the courts. And finally, a Mornar player draws contact that leads to a trip to the line. It hasn't happened often in this game. By the way, the other game underway in this group has gone to halftime. It's Nuremberg, the Czechs, leading Gaziantep 41-28 in the Czech Republic. Needham clanks the first. And 78% career free throw shooter. Gets the second one in, and the lead back to Bar by a single point. Huertas in for Tenerife. He and Lundberg both in the game now, as foul on the outside. That's Pullen's third. Just needs to be smart there. Lundberg tricking his way into the paint. Give and go on the outside with Diaz. 5 on the shot clock. Lundberg a long way from home. Atkins will pull up for 3, misses. And over the back, Shermadini with the foul. Pretty good look, actually, for Atkins, given how far from the basket Tenerife was with the shot clock ticking down. But 7-foot Georgian commits the foul, and back at the other end of the court, Mornar in the bonus. So Vujošević to the line. And that's the first free throw he's missed this season. It was 6 for 6 in all competitions. It's been with the club since December of 2014, Radoje Vujošević, but can't get either of those two free throws to fall, and Tenerife another chance to take the lead here in this game. Past the halfway mark of the third quarter. Inside, back out to Huertas for three, misses. Long tip though. Picked up by Guerra. The fans thinking it's over and back, but off a rebound, that's perfectly fine. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Good look, far side, Huertas misses. And this time it's Guerra over the back, fighting for the rebound. So another trip to the line for, I think, Vujošević. So Vujošević averaging only 1.6 points per game this season. He had 6 last Tuesday in Latvia against VF Riga. And just under 12 minutes played. Still can't find the range. The 30-year-old Montenegrin, a fourth chance from the line. And gets one to go. So 53-51, Mornar Bar in front. 4:26 left in the third quarter. Back into the game, Damir Markuta, the Croatian. And here's Huertas. Not his best of games thus far, Marcelino Huertas. But that's a good look inside, almost leads to a three-point play, but Diaz can't force the ball down. Foul committed by Bjelica. Diaz, a former second-round Utah Jazz draft pick. Misses with the first free throw here. And misses with the second, so neither team performing at the charity stripe. Macedonians still leading this game. But that interception by Huertas, long outlet and down the flush into the net by Lundberg. Game is tied up again. Smart play from Lundberg, immediately streaking up the courts. As Rayleigh Ross the look outside, Bjelica, that's a kick on Huertas. Bjelica trying to kick the pass into the corner. As Needham will inbound here. Tay Waller near side lurking. Eight on the shot clock as Needham penetrates. Dish to the corner, not handled by Waller. The idea behind that pass was sound, but just the pace on it too much for Waller to handle, and Tenerife can move in front in this game. Huertas to Justa for three. No. Strong rebound though by the Brazilian. Huertas to Justa and back again with 9 on the shot clock. And that ball batted. And I think it's come off of Santiago Justa. So Barr doing very well to turn that ball over. Crowd really starting to get into this game with 3:11 left in the third. Meet him with space. The one-handed floater is in. Derek Needham, another strong all-around performance from him in this game. That's good passing to the far side for three. It's long there. And the rebound picked off by Bjelica. Much better passing from Tenerife. Final shot not down, though, and at the other end, Pullen wanting a foul, not getting one. Huertas. Slowing things down outside. Huertas to look far side for three. No again. Twice now Diaz has missed from the right side elbow from distance, and the Montenegrin club just stays in front. Lead him to Bjelica. That's a great pass, and the reverse in from Markuta. Pumps a fist in celebration. Tenerife takes timeout. The Mornar Bar lead is 4 again. Crafty pass by Bjelica, and Markuta going behind the rim, making sure no chance for Guerra to slow him down. Not entirely clear what Chus Vitoretta was saying there. But he has some coaching to do for Iberostar Tenerife in this game. What a big result this could be for Mornar Bar if they can pick up the win here. Trying to advance for the first time to the last 16 in the Basketball Champions League. This would be a really big start on the road to the top 4 in Group C. As inside Diaz tied up. Still 9 on the shot clock as Saline outside. Pick and roll with Shermadini. Now Huertas. Saline, clock ticking down as he runs in, and the floater drops. Sasu Saline. 49 times he has played for the Finnish national team. Needham finds Markuta, who shoots for three. Swish! 2 buckets in a row at that end of the court for Damir Markuta. Those 5 quick points for him are the lead for Mornar Bar in this game. And then quick hands from Tay Waller, but ball will stay with Tenerife. Good rotation there on the shot from Markuta. Hasn't played for Croatia since the FIBA World Cup in 2014. Plenty of EuroLeague experience for Markuta. Most recently with Bamberg, the German club. As front court Huertas kicks to Saline for three, but that's way off. Rebound falls kindly for Justa. Huertas, the no-look pass and the layup not in for Diaz, but drew the foul. Bielitsa complaining. Has not been a home court advantage for Mornar Bar as far as the officiating is concerned tonight. They've had the one technical foul against them. As the first free throw drops. 1:05 left in this third quarter. Second from the line for Diaz is no good. Rebound snatched by Waller. Needham beats the double team. Bielitsa for three, that's long. And Waller overcommitting to the rebound. Huertas in the paint, the lay-in. Nicely down by Justa. 15 seconds between shot and game clock, the difference. Good pass there, but not the finish at the hoop. Bielitsa then goes up over the backboard, and was that touched out of play? No, it wasn't. Marketa, I think, with the first chance, and then Bielitsa misses, and Tenerife can play for the final shot of this third quarter. Just stemming some of the Mornar momentum as the clock ticks down. Huertas, 7 seconds. And the foul by Needham was needless. And he knows it too. .3 seconds. Chance for Huertas to tie this game up at the line. Iron is kind on the first. Marcelinho Huertas played past couple of years with Baskonia in Spain. Pretty decent free throw shooter in his career. In fact, he's now 17 for 17 this season. And game is tied up. Can Mornar Bar get a late shot off here? The floater from Needham, no, and the look was there, but the bucket was not. And so, with 10 minutes remaining at the Topolitsa Sports Hall in Bar, Montenegro, we are all knotted up, 60-60 between Mornar and Iberostar Tenerife. Look at some of the highlights from that third quarter. Offensive output early on for Tenerife came from Shermadini. He's into double figures in this game. Rayleigh Ross, the strong move to the hoop, wanting the and one, but that got him up to 10 points. Jacob Pullen showing his creativity in the paint. Couple of buckets in that quarter from Darian Atkins. Played in last year's BCL with Holon of Israel. Alex Lopez helping out, then the three from Lundberg. Lundberg with the flush as well, as the Dane coming to the party in Bar, which makes sense in a certain sense, I suppose. And then Needham with the runner. This very much still anyone's basketball game. That little spell by Damir Marketa in the third quarter. First the two and then this three, sandwiching the bucket from Saline for Tenerife. Santi Justa, though, with his first BCL points of the year in this game here tonight after playing only 7 minutes and not scoring last Tuesday at home to Nizhny Novgorod. That is Uroš Lukovic checking into the game for the start of the fourth quarter for Mornar Bar. They have the possession arrow. It'll be Aureli Ross to inbound. And here we go, the final 10 minutes of this second game for both clubs in BCL Group C. Had the chance there, Markuta, to take another three. Instead, 7 on the shot clock. Far side, Aureli Ross from distance, but no. Rebound, Justa. Good look for Brandis Aureli Ross. Suarez drops off for Saline. Clumsy in possession, but Huertas picks up the pieces, and then the strip. Transition play, Aureli Ross to the hoop. Can't get the bucket to drop, but the rebound to Waller, and then pulling from distance, yes! Jacob Pullen giving Mornar the lead again. Huertas at the other end. The bank shot drops. Tense contest. Mornar again front court through Pullen. He's double teamed. In the corner, this is Markuta for three. No, the rebound, Lukovic can't handle it. And then Saline forward to Justa for the scoop and score. Tenerife in front by a single point. Aureli Ross now running the offense. Pulling for three. He's feeling it, but not getting it. And underneath, the foul committed by Lukovic. Got a clean look there, did Jacob Pullen. Shermadini selling that contact well with Lukovic. And can the Spaniards put the pedal to the metal here early in the fourth quarter? Huertas. He's feeling it. He wanted the foul as well. But another bank shot to drop, and Tenerife increasing their lead. Risky pass. Markuta gets lucky. Aureli Ross now gets the pick set for him. Shot clock ticking down. Pullen can't get the floater, but gets the rebound. Tries again over Saline, and the bank shot drops for Jacob Pullen. Really good game now. Both clubs going at this one. Hammer and tongs is wide open inside. Easy bucket for Shermadini. Lead is once again 3. Markuta, long 3. Rebound. Taken down by Justa. And the foul on Huertas outside. Mahalo Pavicevic is getting a little bit desperate in front of the Mornar bench as the reach in there from Markuta. Lundberg to inbound. Huertas again. 5 on the shot clock for Justa against Aureli Ross. He drives, he scoops, he can't score, but he gets his own rebound. And the 8-foot floater is in off the back iron. Santi Justa only 22 years of age, as the steal nearly forced by Yusta himself. Twice on the best young team in the Spanish ACB. Last season, as well as 2015-2016, when he was only 18 years of age. And showing good hustle at both ends. As Pullen takes the inbounds, and Mornar really needs a bucket here, you feel. The trap on Pullen nearly comes off. Waller in deep. Shot clock down, as at the buzzer, Bjelica short. That's the swarming defense we've come to know and expect from Tenerife. Their lead is 5. And the look inside, Huertas rejected. Good help defending there by Tay Waller. Looked a sure score there for Huertas, but denied as he went up. Here's Lundberg, strong to the hoop, but can't get the roll, but again, pulling down the offensive board. Huertas, crowd whistling as he pulls up the leaner from 3 is no, way short. And Rayleigh Ross, he goes in and draws the foul. Tangle of bodies in the paint at Tenerife's end of the court. Probably against Marcelino Huertas there. Back into the game comes Guerra, as Rayleigh Ross to the line for 2. Derek Needham checks back in. He's been generally playing more than 30 minutes a game for Mornar Bar this season, as first free throw down from Rayleigh Ross. Nearly 89% last year with Chibona from the line in Croatia. Gets them both to count here. And approaching the halfway mark of this fourth quarter. Tenerife 70, Mornar Bar 67 our score. Tip, Bjelica saves it for Rayleigh Ross. In transition, nearly the three-point play for Begic. A possibility, as Guerra with the touch foul. One of the better fast breaks in this game for Mornar Bar. Begic, though, not a great free throw shooter. 66% in his career. And that's no good in multiple senses. See, just flew off his hand at the wrong angle. Misses them both. Big points left on the scoreboard. Lopez to Lundberg. Now Guerra kicks outside, 4-3, swish! Alex Suarez came into this game only 2 of 8 from beyond the arc this season, but gets that bucket to drop. And Tenerife, the big lead. Mornar takes time out.
Number 15, Oyo Shermatini, stay on your man. He cannot score anything. off with Mirza. Stand off, Waller and Derek with the ball screen. We pick out. Yeah. Okay. Stand off with the Waller and ball screen with Mirza. Right. Waller, you are here. After that, ball screen.
So the Tenerife lead is 6. Finally have a proper stats feed up and running here. Shermandini leading all scores for Tenerife with 15. Jacob Pullen now with 16. Pacing the scoring effort for Barr. Needham outside. Finds Waller. Tay Waller for 3. Short. Rebound fought for and won as Justa fouls Waller. That was very well won by Milko Bjelica. I beg his pardon, it's actually Begic with the tip back to Tay Waller. Third foul on Tenerife in this fourth quarter. Not sure if those are prayers being offered on Mornar Barr's behalf. Some of the young fans here a bit less bothered by the state of play on the courts. As Needham, nice kick, and the foul committed by Guerra. That might be Guerra's third as Begic went up strong. And Begic, again, not one of the best free throw shooters for Mornar Barr, but he'll have 2 big ones coming up here. Barr will be in the bonus for the rest of this game as first free throw drops for Begic. Former Real Madrid and Baskonia player misses the second, and the Tenerife lead is 5 with less than 4 minutes remaining at the Topolitsa Sports Hall in Barr. Lundberg fighting through the defending of Needham and pulls up and gets the bucket to drop. Lundberg in double digits with 12 points. Tenerife stretching that lead back to 7. Needham for 3. No. Tenerife sweeping up the glass right now. And the warning signs are there for Mornar Barr in this game. And the foul committed by Rayleigh Ross. Still have fouls to give in this fourth quarter, Mornar. Solid screen set by Guerra. Inbounds coming outside to Lundberg, the Dane. 7 on the shot clock. Tiptoes his way back outside the arc, and then the infraction going Mornar's way here. Lundberg maybe trying to do a little bit too much there in that possession. So an even 3 minutes left. Mornar still needs to run their offense fluently. Too many contested looks from distance the last few minutes. And the trap this time just about pays off. Poland tied up by Shermadini. And the arrow favors Tenerife. Georgi Shermadini off to his best start from a scoring perspective in an ACB season. 26 points against Bilbao in round 1, 20 and 7 rebounds against Real Madrid in their loss in round 3. Tenerife as bucket kicked outside, or the ball kicked outside rather, to Lundberg. Getting the run of the court here late in this game. Good movement. The three-pointer though is short. From outside and transition. Whipped far side. Waller for 3 off the side of the backboard. Disappointing. Tenerife in control. It's Lopez. Danny Diaz, Shermadini coming off the pick and inside in space, the layup up and in. And is that the dagger in this game for Tenerife? Just flexing their muscles, the Spanish former BCL champions. Georgi Shermadini, another timeout taken by Mornar.
Be aggressive with the ball, protect it. You cannot. No, that's not foul. They didn't call. It's not foul. Reload the ball. Right away. Like this. So it's flat.
Well, it's really now or never in this game for Mornar Bar. They have competed so well against Iberostar Tenerife tonight. But game maybe just slipping away. 9 points the deficit they face. Tenerife, their defensive intensity has just stepped up several notches. As Pullen thought about the 3, instead penetrates for the 15-footer that goes in off the back iron. The quick bucket, just what the doctor ordered for Mornar as Huertas back into the game. And nearly the steal on the outside by Waller. Got ball, but he also got body. And that is the last foul to give in this game for Mornar Bar. Inbound to Shermadini. Top scorer in this game. He backs in and wins the foul from Bielica. He's just a big unit. It's so tough to handle inside the paint. Checking back in Lopez for Huertas. Again, Shermadini, a very good free throw shooter for a big man. Nearly 83% in his career. Gets the first to topple over and in. Second free throw also good. And Suarez waiting to return to the game. Well, it may eventually feel like a moral victory of sorts, or a decent result for Mornar Bar if they can't finish the comeback here. As quickly into Bielica, he draws the whistle. Fouled by Alex Suarez. Again, the first time these clubs played in the BCL back in 2016. Final score is 103-57 in Tenerife's favor. The return match in this building was a 17-point win for Tenerife. So on this evidence, some strides being taken forward by Mornar, but 9-point deficit, awfully big to rally from, as the first free throw in from Bielica. The former Red Star Belgrade player Bielica gets the second free throw to drop as well, and now it's time for full court pressure. Huertas inbounding to Diaz. Well, now they back off. Needham allowing Huertas to come front court uncontested. Poland defending Huertas. Then the switch on the outside. Ball movement in the corner for the dagger three. It's not in. Missing there was Diaz. So maybe still life here as Bielica goes strong to the hoop. 5 points now the deficit with 54 ticks on the clock. Trap outside on Huertas. Where's he gonna go? He's leading Needham and Mary Dance. Then the three for Lundberg is not in. Rebound fought for, and one for the bucket, and the foul by Santi Justa. Mornar doing so well defensively, but Waller swarmed underneath. Just can't win the 2-against-1 battle, and Justa surely is going to see Tenerife win this game. Free throw from Justa is not in, but clock running out. Needham from way outside tries to dish off, eventually does find Marketa. Foul committed by Lundberg there. So Marketa will go to the line. Oh no, it's offensive foul, beg your pardon. Lundberg took the elbow in the face, and so really that is it. Very solid game at both ends for Gabriel Lundberg. And it looks like Mornar has given up the ghost here. Inside final 15 seconds now. Huertas holding things up. Santi Justa, no need to release the ball. Go for one last bucket. They can't get it. Missing is Lopez, but winning this game is Iberostar Tenerife. They really had to battle. They trailed by 3 at the start of the fourth quarter, but they did what they do best, win on the road in the Basketball Champions League. Now 20 wins in 22 road games in the BCL for Tenerife. Made to work all the way down the stretch in this one, but the Montenegrin club coming up just short in the Topolitsa Sports Hall, and they fall to 0-2 in BCL Group C. Tenerife up to 2-0. They have now won 4 games in a row in all competitions. And they will be back in action in the ACB against Baskonia this weekend before facing Peristeri, the Greek club, next Tuesday night in the Champions League. Mornar will go on the road to Russia next week at Nizhny Novgorod following a trip to Slovenia in the Adriatic League and Primorska this weekend. But eventually Tenerife, with the rebound advantage in the second half, remember they were behind in the rebound stats at halftime. But Tenerife, using their size, using their strength, using their superior skill in all departments, to eventually squeak away with the 81-74 victory. Shermandini leading all scorers with 18, Pullen with 18 for Mornar Bar. Lundberg, the 12 points and great defensive work. The Dane getting plenty of run in this game. And we will close with a few highlights here from the fourth quarter in this game. It was Jacob Pullen opening the scoring from long range early in the final quarter, giving Mornar the 63-60 lead. But Tenerife, once they took the lead a couple of buckets later, they would never trail for the remainder of this game. Their first lead at 64-63. Huertas, a relatively quiet game, but getting a couple of nice bank shots in this fourth quarter. And ultimately running out ahead despite that nice block by Waller on Marcelino Huertas. A three from Alex Suarez, really a key bucket in the final parts of this fourth quarter. And Tenerife just turned on the jets and accelerated. A couple of nice buckets for Lundberg, also sent to Justa, and the Georgian, the top scorer, Shermandini. Inside the final 2 minutes, Poland did his best, but ultimately not quite enough for Mornar Bar. And so, despite the late hoop there from Bielica, it was this putback by Justa, drawing the foul and clinching the game for Tenerife. So as the Topolita Sports Hall empties, I'm Darren Kilfair. We will sign off for Montenegro. Really good game in the BCL tonight. Mornar Bar falling just short to Tenerife by the final score of 81 points to 74. So long, everyone.